And Indian food in America is very much stuck in the butter chicken, saag paneer, white tablecloth Indian restaurants. What cuisine would I bring? My mom's Hindu Brahmin from Dehradun, my dad's Parsi. The most pan-Indian food, if you had to pick a food and call it Indian, not Gujarati, Andhra or Hyderabadi or this, that, the other, was a street food. We opened in a small mountain town in western North Carolina with 99,000 white people and me, I like to joke. On any given night, we will serve 3,000 to 5,000 Panipuris to Americans. The samosa is me trying to recreate the samosa I grew up eating at Bansi Maharaja's in my hometown of Ahmednagar. Restaurants are so much greater than the sum of what's inside the four walls. A restaurant has the power to transform the people that work there, transform the people that come in, transform the communities we're in, transform society. Restaurants can transform the world. It was absolute disbelief. And I know people go like, well, surely you had a feeling. I was convinced that we were not going to win. I was so excited that we were in the category. I felt like that was the James Beard Foundation's way of acknowledging the work we'd done. Today I arrived in America, I just couldn't understand why Indian food, the way you and I grew up eating it on the streets at home, wasn't being represented in America at the time. And I was here in the 90s. And Indian food in America is very much stuck in the butter chicken, saag paneer, white tablecloth Indian restaurants with service. And I completely understand why. This was what was familiar. It seemed like this is what Americans knew. My wife and I looked at each other and she said, you've had this idea for as long as I've known you to try to bring a different kind of Indian cuisine in America. Maybe you're the guy to do it. I thought she was crazy, as in, like, I'm not trained. What cuisine would I bring? My mom's Hindu Brahmin from Dehradun, my dad's Parsi, we live in Maharashtra and Mumbai. What cuisine would I even represent? The epiphany I had was the most democratic food of India, the most approachable food of India, the most pan-Indian food. If you had to pick a food and call it Indian, not Gujarati, Andhra or Hyderabadi or this, that, the other, was a street food. It is loved by all. It caters to every religion. I mean, think of a city like Mumbai or Delhi where people come to work from all over the country, and a street food vendor, a chaatwala, has to create cuisine that works for everybody. We opened in a small mountain town in western North Carolina with 99,000 white people and me, I like to joke. And again, the challenge was, will we be successful? I would say customers' favorite dishes, you're not going to believe this, SPDP, Sev Patata Dahi Puri, Vada Pav, Kale Pakoras, Bhindi fry, okra fry. Okra fry is a column. It's not Bhindi masala. It's like, I fry the okra. Like the actual street food of India is our favorite dishes. We have some thalis. So we'll do definitely butter chicken and saag paneer, the things that people are also familiar with. But the most popular dish is Panipuri. On any given night, we will serve 3,000 to 5,000 Panipuris to Americans. We have keema pao, right? Now I can do it traditionally. I can put the keema and the buns on the side, a little this, a little that. And the average American that's never had this dish is going to be like, what do I do with this? There's a very popular type of sandwich here called a sloppy joe. It's basically like a beef type, almost like a keema, but it's served on a bun. And you put the keema inside the bun, like a vada pav inside a bun. So I created a dish called a sloppy jai, which is basically keema pav, but I made it in a sandwich. And someone can walk in and never have had our food, but look at the menu and go, oh, I know what that looks is going to look like. I know what this is going to taste like. We took southern ingredients like sweet potatoes and kale and made pakoras out of kale pakoras. And so without dumbing down our food, I found a way to bridge the cultural divide. So I grew up in Ahmednagar, which is in Maharashtra, a small town outside of Pune. My mom and dad are still there. My single biggest influence, both as an entrepreneur and as a cook, is my mom. My mom was a fearless cook, and she essentially the thing she did that now when I look back was remarkable is she wasn't tradition bound. She understood that traditions are born of necessity, that a dish is done a certain way because once upon a time, that's all you had to work with. So when I was in graduate school in America doing my MBA, and my mom would come and visit and I wanted her to cook Indian food, well, what is she going to find in 1993 in Columbia, South Carolina? So she used what she had and she'd recreate dishes from my childhood that in my mind were like, how did you do this? And she said, beta, we will use the things we have around us. So that was number one. And the number two thing was my dad, lost his eyesight when I was still a baby. And I saw my mom have to become the head of the household, the income earner for the business. And I saw, a woman that grew up without English as a first language, that grew up, without going to college, essentially become a educated, cultured, successful businesswoman from the ground up. The Chai Pani menu is the greatest hits of Indian food that I remember from growing up. So our vada pav is a constant quest to recreate the garden vada pav wala from Pune, right next to MG Road on Tabor Street. The samosa is me trying to recreate the samosa I grew up eating at Bansi Maharaja's in my hometown of Ahmednagar. Just the best meal, even though it would make me sick 1 out of 5 times, it was still the best. So, everything on our menu is me constantly obsessing over capturing the memory of childhood, of the best thing I ever had. And I think for most of us, that's always what we gravitate towards, our childhood memories.